Hey you. So the challenge continues. Today is day 17 of the Matthew challenge. If you have not joined us, what are you waiting for? But it's not too late. Come on, just get on it. Today's day 17. So we have about 11 more days to go. And you can even start today. Read Matthew chapter 17, make a video. Let us know what you learn. And don't forget the hashtag Matthew Challenge KFT. That's the official hashtag. God bless you. Let me tell you what I got from Matthew chapter 17. Okay, so Matthew chapter 17 starts with the transfiguration of Jesus. This is very interesting to me for a couple of reasons. One, Jesus had to be on a mountain before that happened, and he chose who he wanted to be with them. So it wasn't the entire crowd that followed Jesus on the mountain. He chose his three besties or the three closest disciples, James, Peter, and John, to be with him. And two, he was on the mountain, and that's where that happened, where his face started to change, shining like the sun, and even his clothes becoming so white as light. So his transfiguration happens. He needed to be on a height. So that shows that there's certain transformation that we're waiting on God, that we want to see in our character. We need to come up higher for that to happen, because that does remind me of another man, also, who actually was present with Jesus when that happened, which is Moses, when he was in God's presence on the mountain, when he was coming down. Even the children of Israel, they had to cover their faces because the light was too much. So him too, he was transfigured. So I feel like that was important, that in that moment, Moses was one of the people who came and spoke to Jesus about that. So again, so what I see from there is that if we remain at the same level that we are, there's a level of transformation we will never attain. And also that reminds me of even John, when he was getting the revelation, the angel had to call him, come up higher, come up hither. So we need to always want to go deeper in God and higher, another level with God, for us to get transformation. The other thing I find interesting is that why is it that it wasn't angels that come to speak with Jesus about his death when he was transfigured, but it was two dead people? If it was us, hey, we would have been like, hey, cast the spirit of death, bind the spirit of death. But it was interesting to me that the disciples, they were not afraid. The Bible did not record that they were afraid. The time that the Bible recorded that they were afraid is when they heard the voice from the cloud. That's when they were afraid. But when they saw Moses, on the contrary, Peter was like, oh, we need to build 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elijah. Although Elijah did not physically experience death as we know it, but he transited, he's no longer on the earth, and then he was taken up. So technically we would have been like, okay, he's no longer on the earth, it's like he's dead. So they were the one who appeared to Jesus. Why is it that it needed to be those people were like dead? We know Moses for sure died, although nobody knows about his body and things like that. But why is it that they had to be there? But one of the things I think about is that, well, angels never know about death. So if there was anybody who needed to speak to Jesus about his death that was coming up, it made sense that it was those people. One, Moses died, but nobody found about his body. Elijah transited in a supernatural way, and where Jesus himself, like he was going to die, he's because he was giving his life and he was able to take it back. So they came to talk to him about that. So one thing I realized about the disciples not being afraid is that a lot of times, like the prayers that we make, even like from having dreams about, if we were us, like we were to see Moses or Elijah in our dreams, we woke up, or even if it was like a grandparents who used to be like a pastor or something like that, who come to tell us about certain things, even if it was like a prophecy, it would be very hard for us to accept it, because of the mentality. I feel like it's the mentality that we have toward death, that cause us to make prayers that can be rooted in fear when we see anything that is related to death. And I feel like the devil used that a lot to threaten us in a way, because it's like we're so afraid of dying. We don't have that dominion that we're supposed to have over death, that if we see it, it's like, oh my gosh, I rebuke the spirit of fear, I rebuke the spirit of fear. Not even from a place of dominion, but it's from a place of fear, because we're so afraid. We're coming in and be like, we're binding and doing all of that, because we see Paul, he was just so secure and so rooted in that he will not die before his time. Even like when the serpent bit him, everybody was waiting for him to die. He just shook that thing off. He did not start like, oh, and then starting to rebuke death or anything like that. He just shook it off. Even like with the boat and everything that was going on the boat, he knew, he was like, yeah, the angel of the Lord spoke with me, like nobody will lose their life. He's like, take courage, eat something, you guys haven't eaten. So that means Paul was eating. So, and he knew he was gonna go to Caesar, so he knew he was gonna appear in the royal in the palace. So he was not afraid about death. But for us, I feel like we're just so not secure embodying our calling, who we are and what Jesus has done, that can even like for us to have dominion over even death, to have the victory that we have over death. We see it as I don't know, if it was us, that's all I'm just like imagining, if it was us, first to see two dead people in an encounter or in a dream, our first reaction would tend to be, the tendency would be to bind the spirit of death. Whereas Jesus, he had that encounter. It wasn't angels that come to speak with him, but it was, or at least Moses, dead, come and spoke to him. And the disciples waking up, they were not afraid. They were not binding it to say, okay, that's the spirit of death. I'm not saying that there are not times that the enemy can use that, but I'm saying that having the knowledge and being rooted, if we're really rooted in who we are, knowing that we can't die before our time and we have dominion over that, then the way we pray would change, even if that would be something that we see or experience. Another interesting thing is that Jesus, when he was talking about Elijah was going to come, he said, Elijah comes or is coming, and I say will restore. So I was trying to read it in different version, different translation, to try to find out, is he talking in the future for real? So it appears that he is. And then when he started to talk about John the Baptist, he said, however, Elijah has already come. So it's like technically Jesus is saying like Elijah will come, but Elijah also already came. So that makes me think that before Jesus' second coming, there would be another how would I say, the mantle of Elijah would fall again upon the church, where there would be that reconciliation between the return the hearts of the children toward the Father and the heart of the Father toward the children again. So before Jesus' second coming, that's why we need to go out and evangelize, to ensure that we are preaching the kingdom, ensuring that more people are entering into the kingdom, repenting and coming back to God before Jesus comes. So that's some of the things that I got from Matthew chapter 17. God bless you.